The year after 6th grade, like that summer, I heard about this thing called wildlife camp. I had no idea what it was, but I knew that people that were older than me had gone and said it was really cool, so I was like, okay, I'll go. Before we went, we had like some meetings for all the girls that were going together that were my age to like meet each other, meet our leaders, and I just remember they were so happy and they cared about me and listened to me and wanted to hear what I had to say, and I thought that was so cool because they were in college and I was like, why do these people want to listen to me? Like, they're in college, like I am so young, what is this? But at camp I heard that there's more to Jesus, that he wants a relationship with me and that he like made me exactly the way I was, and I didn't have to like seek attention or anything or be upset about not being the best at something, because he made me exactly how I was, like to fulfill like a place in the world that no one else could. And I thought that was so cool because I'd struggled with like looking around and seeing my friends that were like the best at soccer or track or the smartest, and I couldn't see myself being the best at anything, and I was like, why is that? It's not fair. Like, so that was cool to hear that at camp for the first time. And I guess just Young Life is more about like your leaders. Like for me, it was all about like Molly and Lauren and how they just kept showing up in my life, like random places. Like I remember walking out of school one day and Molly being outside my school, and I was so confused. Like I couldn't understand why she was at my school. Like she's in college and I was at junior high. And just them just showing up and just really showing that they care about me and wanting to hang out with me and hear about my life. There was just something they so obviously had that was Jesus that I wanted, and I even if I didn't know it was Jesus, I wanted it. So the first like week we got to work crew, all of the work crew was telling their stories and sharing like how they got to where they are now, and I was listening to a lot of people's stories that were like really crazy, and they'd made some like really big mistakes in the past, but they'd overcome them and like turn back around and completely flip their life around. And I was sitting there and just thinking like, wow, my story isn't like that at all. Like I haven't made any of those huge mistakes, or like I don't have any huge regrets. And I was just kind of like almost embarrassed to tell my story because I was like, there's like nothing to me, which isn't true, but I felt that way. And then one night, all of our work crew bosses were sharing their stories, and one of the work crew bosses was actually one of my Young Life leaders. And as she was telling her story, it just like hit me. I was like, wow, okay, the reason that I haven't made any of those mistakes and that I don't have any of those huge regrets is because of my Young Life leaders and how they shared their life with me and just shared those regrets and mistakes that they'd made so that I didn't have to make those, and I could learn from their mistakes without having to make them myself. And I know that there's so many other kids like me that have just like gone through the same thing I have, and I know people don't hear about it a lot because the donors don't always get to see where their money goes and what comes of it, but like I'm an example of that, and my friends are all examples of that. So all of that is a result of people that help Young Life function here in Douglas County.